But I tell you, I went early on in life knowing that I wanted to create, I wanted to build, I wanted to develop, I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. The hiccup, which is a lot like everybody else's hiccup, is okay, great, now what? so, everything from I worked at Chick-fil-A thinking I want to own a Chick-fil-A business, which is great in and of its own right. And then I went and got a business degree because if you don't know what you're going to do, you get a degree about everything. So you can be the jack of all trades, right? And the truth is, I got out of that and went to corporate because it was secure and it was a big job. And then I realized really how secure that was. And each of these life lessons creates well, quite frankly, it created the Chris that sits in front of us and the Scott and the Dan and anybody listening, because that's the journey that we maybe didn't plan, but built us to who we are. And that corporate job that I had to lay other people off, which almost hurt harder than getting laid off myself.
Yeah.
It triggered something to say, never again. I remember walking out and it was dark, and maybe this is not about this, but I'm literally remembering it right now. I walked out of this office building to my truck and audibly saying and catching myself saying, I will never. I didn't finish it, but I said, I will never allow a man, a woman, an entity, a company, corporation, anybody to impact my life and my family's future like I just had to do on behalf of the corporation to those 5 individuals right there. And I don't know how. Again, I know what I want, but I didn't know how. And so that weekend, I actually started, of all the things I could have done, that weekend I started, and a small seed of planted. I worked with a gentleman who owned a business. That business happened to be a janitorial business, of all things, cleaning. And I worked with him and I said, hey, look, if you don't mind, give me some advice about starting a business. And the first thing he said, don't do it. And I'm like, ooh, I'm excited. Yes, sir. I'm ready. What's it going to be? And he's like, don't do it. I'm like, okay. That was anticlimactic. But I said, okay. And his name was John. John, if I were going to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
If I were going to do it, would you help me along that thought process? He said, sure. Come over to my home. Let's have some breakfast.
Yeah.
I came over to his home on Saturday morning for another 9 months every week. And I worked at his business, running some of his crews, and he taught me over breakfast every Saturday. And those people come in our life, and we don't know sometimes why, but to this day, and he's actually passed away now, but I don't think he'll ever know, because after that I moved from Houston to Denver because I like the climate and all that, and I started a business and ran that 25 employees, several true crews and trucks all over the place, and ran that for about 12 years. Realizing, I wanted to build something bigger myself. The end of that taught me something, and then it leads to today. I'll wrap it up. But I realized that it wasn't the paychecks that was going to make all the difference in my team's life. It was what to do with the paychecks once they received them.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the raise, or it wasn't the Friday check on Thursday they needed. It was knowledge.
Yeah.
Work ethic wasn't going to get them there. So after I sold that, and then I went into finance, and that's where I am today because of those little life lessons and countless more that